There we go. All right.
Welcome to the beginning of the Christmas special. This one will be played in front of a live audience.
Yes, Nixian Nights brings you How the Lich Stole Christmas. So yeah, we did. We left off at something really fun last time. The last thing that happened, and I want to lay it out exactly how I saw it, because I think that when I do that, it'll make it very obvious how this really occurred. Emir burned off every single one of those bugs except one. And when he noticed that one, he instead decided to leave it on there because he thought it was funny. It then climbed up his back, underneath his helmet, latched onto his spine, and has injected mind-controlling venom into his brain, and has sort of triggered him to immediately attack the closest thing to him, which happens to be River.
So, do you want to tell them about my magic item that I got for my birthday 3 months ago?
I shared it actually already.
What?
I shared it actually already so they could see it after I showed you.
But did everybody actually get a chance to read about it?
I don't know.
That's why I'm asking if we should tell them what my magic item is, because I'm about to use it.
So I mean, I already linked it.
Okay.
It's in the link, Kelly. It's an item.
Anyway, so Emir comes around with a very, very deadly swing of his battle axe directly at River's head. And as he starts to move, you see his body begin to glow as it begins to rapidly heat up. And you see his chainmail begin to burst apart and melt off of his body. And the battle axe in his hand melts as though he's holding on to nothing more than a candle, and swings past with only just barely the heft of it going right over River's head. And with one big swing, his entire body spins around, facing back into the courtyard, and you see an eruption of fire and flame that creates this silhouette of a massive monster with huge horns. And then it collapses down on him, and Emir, now completely naked from having all of his things burned off of him, collapses into the courtyard, unconscious.
Is the bug still on him?
No, the bug is definitely gone now.
Everything is burned off.
Yes.
What about his hair?
No, he still has his hair. Yeah, so Emir is safe now, as far as you can tell. However, his entire body is covered with sort of low-grade burns, singe marks, things like that, where his armor, his weapons, his equipment was touching him too closely.
So
He's definitely taken some harm from this, but he's still breathing.
Did he lose the Sunblade?
No, he did not.
Oh, good.
The Sunblade was one of the few items that actually made it through the fire.
Oh, good.
We rolled for those.
He rolled.
So the thing that not everyone is aware of is that William and I had a private session last week where we went through what was going on in Emir's head. and worked that through before we got here so that we wouldn't eat up all of our game time working working on that and not letting anyone else do anything. Since that's
It
a
was an
part of
epic argument. It was great.
since it's a part of the story that technically none of your characters would know anything about anyway, unless Amir told you. So that's the reason why all of that happened. So yeah, from River's point of view, the last thing that you had declared before this stuff happened with Amir is that you had turned around and you were dancing back off into the street, looking back towards your friends in the courtyard. And then around comes Amir with this look on his face of absolute just rage. And he starts swinging his axe at you. And you have just enough time for you to widen your eyes as you start to see his hair billow up and his axe melt as it swings right past you. And you can feel the heat of the melting metal as it passes beside your face. And it barely singes your whiskers.
For the sake of the recording, the fact that I'm naked was Miles' idea.
Technically,
It's
yes.
important to know.
Technically, yes. I mean, I said the amount of heat that came off that thing, if it was going to melt a battle axe, it would probably set lots of other things on fire, and chainmail was one of them. So anyway. Yeah, and yeah, the bug that was attached to Amir's neck popped like popcorn or like a zit. The courtyard is filled with burn marks and the smell of burning hair and flesh. As you see about 4, maybe 5 blocks down the road, there is the sound of movement, like a large object, a large crowd, something is just rushing down one of the side streets over there. So you have literally just witnessed one of your friends almost kill one of your other friends and then collapse in a heap naked. But the action has not stopped. Things are still happening around you. What are you going to do now?
Somebody needs to get Ymir back inside.
Are we still in combat, or is combat technically over?
Combat is over.
Can we see, I do agree with Tonks. We need to get our very burned or our very tuckered out friend back inside. Can we see Kiddo and Emil?
Yes, Kiddo and Emil are now coming around the corner from the street that I had mentioned.
Okay, the things following them, is it like a bug or a big bug or like a bunch
You
of little
can't-
bugs?
You can't see it yet. Whatever it is probably at least 10 feet behind them. They're just barely peeking out through the eye, beyond the side street. But you know that they're being followed by something, and it is sounding like a herd of elephants.
Interesting.
So
So yeah,
what are you gonna do?
I think we need to regroup by the entrance, and we need to get Ymir inside, and we need to get River back with the group near the entrance. That's what I think. What do you think, boss?
Sounds good to me.
So yeah. Are you gonna bring Amir inside the inn, or are you going to bring him just closer to you? Just out of curiosity.
Being
Get
he's
him in
naked
harm's
and
way,
knocked
right?
out. Yeah, being he's naked and knocked out, I say we get him inside.
Okay, just
Yeah,
check.
there were cots. There were cots inside where the wizard was. We should just put him on one of those with a blanket.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, you can put him in there on a cot with the remainder of his belongings.
Did anybody try to wake him up?
Does he still have his coin?
I volunteer to try to wake him up. I'd like to slap him and see if he wakes up.
Okay. Make a strength check, Ryan.
That's an 18.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's a stealth check, Ryan. That's not a strength check.
You know, just because I can't read, I was
Oh,
definitely
okay.
slapping him, okay?
I don't know, I feel like an 18 is more like a punch to the mouth.
For like a
Oh,
stealth slap,
it
you
was
wouldn't
way
feel
more
it.
Oh,
fun. It was way more fun when it was the other one.
I
Yeah,
think the original roll should count. Just saying.
that's why I'm the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Emir's passive constitution save is a 14. So you hit
Not
him
for the
and
first
you hit him as hard as you can across the face. His face goes like this, and your hand stings like it was eaten up by bees.
But nobody heard a thing because it was quiet.
Um,
Where's
Meanwhile, out in the courtyard, uh, Torch, Tonks, are either of you watching for Emil, or are you staying close to the door? Because you can't see down the road from that vantage point.
I would like to watch for a meal.
Okay.
'Cause I was thinking, I mean, as long as nobody disagrees, I have major image now,
Ah,
and
yeah.
I was thinking maybe I would try to make it look like, I don't know, there was a wall or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to use it. Sorry, I'm also sick, so and I'm
Yeah.
meds and I'm dumb, so I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think I get what you're going for. Yeah, so it from where he's at, it would take him approximately 4 rounds to get to where you are. And once he gets about another 30 feet away from that side street, you see that there is sort of like a uh, like a like a typhoon, like a deluge of these bugs just sort of crawling over the walls and coming back down around after him. Um, think what, World War Z?
Oh God.
Yeah. And these things are chasing him and well, and Kiddo, but you know, Kiddo's higher up. And they're coming fast. And from your estimate, there's probably 1,000 of them.
Okay.
Oh, dear. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
So is it sort of like it's
So
like they're coming down sort of like a almost like an alleyway, like there's buildings on either side type of thing?
yes, yeah.
So I
So
could effectively
here,
cast ball of fire from one side of the
let me
street to the
see. So I draw. Yeah, there we go. So let's do. That's the courtyard. And then I want you to draw another shape. Thanks. Why would you revert to the immediate beginning tool when never mind? It's so smart, guys. And then we'll say that this here is the side street. Ah, somebody deleted my street. Anyway, that this here is the side street. So Emil would be coming from like the south area, and the inn, well, I'm gonna put a little circle. The door to the inn is like right there. And Emil is like right there. So from the door, you wouldn't be able to get vantage point, or like you wouldn't be able to see him at all. But from over here, at any point, you'd be able to see down to them. Over on this way is another, like this road continues on. But basically in the same fashion, there's like the sides of houses and buildings on either side with small, narrow side streets. But for the most part, it's just sort of cramped quarters. There. Does that help?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
So I could walk down to like the edge there and just sort of peer and have a good vantage on them.
Yeah, and so from what I've declared so far, there's a 30-foot gap in between Emil and the bugs.
Okay.
So there is room in between them. It's not like you have to hit right where he is.
Okay.
The street is probably, I'm gonna say maybe 20 feet, 25 feet wide. So you could definitely throw up your wall there, but can you cast it more than once?
I know it's at will.
Yeah, but let's
Oh.
see.
Don't you really shouldn't cast that at William. He's already hurt.
That's true.
Hey, remember, fire at will. Will fire back.
Not if you're unconscious.
Okay.
It might take a while, but it will happen.
Wall of fire is from your weapon. Once the instrument is used to cast a spell, it can't be used to cast that spell again until the next dawn.
Oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure on that because even though it was an at-will spell, I knew that there was a limitation there somewhere.
Okay.
But, well, let me take a look. Because what is... No, it would have dispersed by then. Okay. I was going to say, because it is a concentration spell, but it's only up to a minute, so it wouldn't last that long.
Okay.
But anyway, so did you have anything you wanted to do? I mean, other than relay to your friends what's happening?
Yes. Relay to the friends what's happening. Who is like, is it just Kelly and I that are outside still?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm just gonna call down to her and let her know what I see. My options are, I mean, I have major image. I can make them, I could put something up and hopefully that'll make them at least slow down long enough that we can get Kiddo and Emil into the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Can you construct like a huge flame right behind them to maybe slow them down?
Yeah, I mean, we could maybe make it look like a wall of fire.
Yeah. If you can't cast wall of fire, you can cast something that looks like a wall of fire.
Yes.
I realize I'm asleep. Can I ask a couple questions about abilities anyway, just to kind of give some thoughts?
Yep, of course.
Kelly, Heather, you guys still have the... I can't believe it. I can't think of the rug.
Say the rug?
The flying rug.
It doesn't exist
Oh.
anymore.
It's in Lyrica.
Okay. So we had that. Do you guys have, do you have a spell or any ability to fly, float?
Oh, I have levitate. And I have
Okay.
fly. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, you
Maybe-
can fly. And
Do you have that on yourself or
Yeah, it's
can you
just
cast on?
I have fly, but I think that one, it's just up in the air, right?
Yeah, you touch a willing creature, the target gains a flying speed of 60 feet for the duration, which is up to 10 minutes.
So snipers or people with big guns tend to be like up high where they could see the most and shoot the most. You know, people with crossbows and magic spells.
Yeah, I don't have fly though. I'm like,
Well, no,
But
but
if Heather's standing right next to you,
yeah,
oh,
Heather,
Heather can put me fly and I could go up and I see, I see.
yeah.
How long would it take me to get on the wall?
What wall?
What, isn't Heather on top of a wall?
No, she's just standing in the street.
Oh. Are there walls to this courtyard?
I said that on either side there are like the walls to like the sides of buildings or houses.
Can I climb up on one of those and see what's going on from?
Last I heard you were inside trying to wake Amir.
Right, well, that didn't work, so I'm obviously gonna go back outside. I know that the people are coming, and I know that there's bad things coming.
Okay. You can, but you wouldn't be like on the side of the wall. You would have to like climb up to the roof.
Okay.
Okay. So make me an athletics check.
Oh, another thing I'm amazing at up in here. See, look at that, a 3.
Hot.
I'm just rolling William all light up
No.
in this place tonight.
So yeah, you come outside and you put your hand up against the wall, and for a split second you go, maybe I should climb up there. And then you grip it and you can feel the sort of clay-like building crumble a little bit in your fingers, and you go, you know what? I didn't bring my climbing kit, and just completely back down.
Well, that sucks.
Well, I could.
Uh,
Okay. I could lift Dado, with fly, if you want, and then you could use your boomstick.
My boomstick?
Yeah, you know you're on a taffy.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
I
one.
mean, that's the idea, is to get someplace high where they can't get to me easily and start picking them off as they're approaching, and hopefully not roll terribly enough to hit a meal in the process.
And
one more question. Please remind me. I don't honestly remember. Brooke, what's River's weapons?
She has a vicious rapier.
Okay. Yeah, but I also have claws.
Okay.
And
You don't have a short bow or anything?
She has a hand crossbow.
that's it.
And rogues are usually pretty good at climbing.
Yeah, so Ryan was talking about climbing, and I was like, that seems like a thing I should probably do. What would that be? What kind of check do you want me to do?
You can make an athletics or yeah, I guess it'd be athletics.
Okay.
Cool.
16.
Yeah, you can scale the wall.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. And now what? What do
So
I
now-
see?
So now you're up on top of the roof. So
Of like the Rotten's Tavern, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and you can see down the street all of these bugs, this sort of like cascading carpet of these things that is sort of sloshing along through the streets as it's coming closer and closer to the square. It goes further and further back, all the way about 3 streets back. And I need you to make me a perception check.
Oh, that's lovely.
this thing's broken tonight, I think.
Yeah, that's all you see.
Super.
Maybe we're saving all the good rolls for battle. I hope. I hope.
Um,
All right, do you want to do this thing, Dado?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the spell slot to do it, put me on the roof.
I should. Let's do it. Says I have to touch you.
gross.
Um,
Lord Dad is a very clean individual thing. Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know. He looks like a dirty old man.
I mean, just because he's dirty and old on the inside doesn't mean he's dirty on the outside.
oh, I can do more than one person. So Kelly, do you want to go as well?
Yes,
This-
please.
It says, oh wait, would I have a 4th level spell slot? Nick- Good, because
You don't have a 4th level spell slot. You have a few 4th level spells because they're on your item.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can only do it the one time.
Oh,
Or
poopy doo.
the one
I'm
person I know.
sorry, Kelly.
That's all right.
Do I have to roll something for this? Because there's nothing on the actual spell itself.
No, you don't have to roll anything to do it. That's the reason why it says it has to be a willing creature.
Okay.
So as long as whatever you touch is willing, they gain a flying speed of 60 feet for either as long as you can keep your concentration up or 10 minutes, whichever is shorter, I guess.
I'm gonna go give him a poke. And make him fly.
I find it really funny, the idea that Tonks reaches over and goes, okay, you go, and pushes him, and immediately somehow he is now light as a balloon and goes just a little bit.
That's because when she touches me, my cloak kind of goes inward, and the black smoke wings come out from underneath my breastplate. I have those. They're like 6 feet long.
Mm.
They're kind of big. The
Oh.
cloak covers them nicely.
Ryan is all dark and mysterious.
He is. Rawr.
Well, let's go with Lord Daddy on that one. I prefer not to be dark.
I mean, I'm not going to judge about the corset, but where do you hide the whip?
I left it in the tavern next to you.
I got a special whip holder on Temu.
All right, so if I'm
Hey,
up in the air,
Mordecai
up on the
is-
roof,
Mordecai is whining at the door, babe.
Okay, I'll take care of him.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm back.
all right, so if I'm up on the roof and everything, can I see these things coming?
Yes.
Can I start trying to hit them with Eldritch Blast to keep them away from Emil?
Can you give me a perception check?
I mean, my passive perception's a 16. Does that count? It never counts when I want. Perception. There. I got it.
All right.
Back way at the end, way beyond this massive sort of throng of these bugs, you see a creature maybe 4 feet tall, maybe a little bit more, wearing a dark hooded robe, looks covered in rags, carrying a huge staff with a glowing green gem at the top of it, and appears to be directing them.
How far away is he?
Maybe 120 feet.
He's right at the tip of my range. I can aim
Right?
for
I was
him.
like,
All right, well, I guess with my perception, I can tell he's the ringmaster for this and everything.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna try to light him up.
Okay.
And good news, it's Tuesday. That's wizard killing day.
And not necessarily the wizard. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Ryan, call it.
He's going to use counterspell.
Okay, I got 3 more charges to do on him.
Okay.
Bastard. So 22.
Damn.
Counterspell.
I'll use every one of those things he got. That's a 24.
That would be both of them. That's a hit.
Both of what? I don't get it.
Both of his counterspells.
Oh, well, that's good.
Okay.
His Eldritch Blast is a magic attack, right?
It is. And I was on the fence as to whether or not Eldritch Blast counted in the way that a counterspell could affect it, but apparently the official ruling on it is it does.
So that's 11. Does that disrupt him whatsoever?
He has to make a check now. Sorry, I didn't have my dice up. There we go. Okay. He maintains his concentration.
All right, well, I got another charge in this thing here, so
Okay. I mean, he took damage, but maintains
That's-
concentration.
so did he maintain concentration after the second shot?
That's a 20. Let me roll it again. Yes.
If I'm not in combat, can I keep hitting him with this?
Can you keep hitting him with it out of combat?
I mean, we're not technically in combat.
Oh,
have to-
you mean can you keep attacking him?
Yeah.
Well, you started combat, so now we have to roll initiative.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
what's basically called a surprise round. Because you
Oh.
attacked before anyone else could.
Oh. Well,
That's why it's better to start the barroom brawl versus join.
you know, they say sun's out, guns out. Let's do it.
Yes, yes.
You want me to roll initiative too, or myself?
No, I'm shaking my head because Ryan rolled a nat 20 on initiative.
There, it started anyways.
Just had to warm those dice up.
Uh-huh.
Apparently.
Uh, there you go.
Just
What's
for
an
my own sake,
initiative
Miles.
check versus initiative roll?
I don't even know where the initiative check would have come from.
We still need torch to roll, don't we? There we go.
Woohoo!
2 guild
Alright.
leaders and the wizard are in with me, right?
That's right. Cool. River and I both got the same initiative, so River is going to go first because her dex mod is way higher.
Rogue for the win.
Right? All right, Dadu, with a 20, you're going first.
Okay, so to be clear, I am flying, but I'm flying about a foot above the roof.
Okay.
Just to be clear about that and everything.
So you're staying close, is what you're saying.
I'm doing that so that one, flying is freaking amazing, but two, in case her concentration breaks or ends, I'm just gonna land on the roof.
Yeah, that's good.
Got it.
It's also harder for the bugs to get to me, I hope. That's the but being I am with everybody. I'm gonna tell everybody, hey, there's a crap ton of bugs coming, but it looks like there's a guy leading them from the back. So as much as you need to defend yourself from the bugs and everything, and we need to get meal inside, we also just need to make sure we hit whoever it is who's leading them in the back. So with that, I'm gonna take aim with Eldritch Blast and try to hit him again.
Okay.
Simon says kill him first.
Wow. Okay.
And does he keep his concentration?
I think that's real unlikely. Let's try. Well, that's a nat 20, so yes.
Shit.
All right, let's do it again. I might kill this bugger before I actually. Does that hit?
Yep.
Miles, you only need one
And that
concentration.
finally breaks concentration.
You only need one concentration per turn, I thought.
Reminder, you have 10 minutes until it's time to go.
Okay, wait a second. Ryan rolled a nat 22.
Yes, he did.
So how come your nat 20 trumps his nat 20 if his
His
modifier is 8 and yours is 7?
It doesn't. He still gets to deal the damage. It's just that the NPC gets to roll concentration to see whether or not its spell ends. And you're right,
Oh.
William. I think that is what the rule is, but this has been the first time in a while that I've ended up having to mess with concentration rules. So I'm just giving Ryan the benefit of the doubt and seeing if he can actually hit something.
Okay. But I'm like, for example, during your turn when you get multiple attacks from a fighter, I think they get all their attacks and then you roll concentration after to see if
That's
you.
correct.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. In any case, it should be broken now. I still have 2 more rounds of Eldritch Blast to hit this guy.
Mhm.
But what's going on with his bugs at this point?
You don't get to know that until the end of your turn.
Oh, fine.
Ryan, this entire turn, even if it's got 4 Eldritch Blasts in it, is only about 6 seconds. Ryan, I want to know how you've loaded your dice tonight.
Amazing.
The way I load my dice every night, before game starts, I go over that little dice thing in the corner and I load up 20 rolls of the D20, 20 of the D10, 20 of the D6, and I roll them all, and I roll them on continuously until I get at least 3 nat 20s. Tonight I had to do it one time. I had 4 of them. I was like, okay, and I'm done. And then I walked away from my computer for an hour and a half.
That is funny. You're trying to trick the random number generator, and I love that.
No, you see, you call it tricking it. I call it warming up my dice.
Sure.
And I really thought it was failing by the 2 and 3 I got before. But I mean, I'm okay with failing everything outside of combat. It's the important parts that I care about.
You called it too. Like all the stuff outside of combat, nothing can hit at all. Immediately combat starts and it is 20s through like the whole row.
Funny.
When you're a one-trick pony,
It's got to be a good trick.
I will slap you again, I swear.
Oh,
you'll break your hand.
And
oh. Yeah, damn it.
is he dead?
No, I'm like, okay, I'm backtracking here to see. That's a hit. That's a hit.
Oh yeah, the first 2 were counterspell. That does suck.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make sure where I'm at. So okay, 11, 19, 31, 39, 49, 52, 59 points of damage. Yeah, so he swats away the first two Eldritch Blasts and doesn't even appear to have been phased. But as the third one and then the fourth one hit, it gets harder and harder for him to maintain his concentration. Eventually, you end up knocking him back off his feet, and he falls onto the ground, and you see him sort of bust like a piñata as hundreds and hundreds of bugs fall out of his cloak.
Gross.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the huge cascading army of bugs begins to sort of freak out and skitter in a million different directions over the tops of roofs, directly at you, back the way they came.
Well, that's nice.
William, I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw. That is a nat 20.
I want to live.
Yeah, so Emir is completely just cold, unconscious, completely without any movement, dead as a doornail, and then sits bolt upright. Grabs onto his weapon and walks back out through the front door, stark naked.
Yes.
I've only got 2 questions. 1, where the hell are my clothes? And 2, where's the warlock?
How did we lose Heather?
I don't know, she dropped.
So can I yell down to him, hey, why are you looking for the warlock? Also, put some clothes on and stay in the cart.
So are you going to try and engage these bugs now, or are you going to try and stand back and let them move through?
You mean let the bugs move through?
Mhm.
I would think the party would again just keep trying to defend to get our friends into safety.
Well, at this point, the bugs aren't after your friends anymore. That's what I'm saying, is they're not being controlled at all anymore. So they're just there. Now, there are some that are coming towards you because they're going that direction, but they're like going in a bunch of directions.
Like Oogie Boogie. My bugs, my bugs.
Yeah, very much like that, actually.
So I gotta ask, is combat over again?
Combat is over again.
Great.
Unless you want to fight the bugs, in which combat starts again. Hey, you remember that one session where we fought 3 times?
Amir is just
Where
holding his
Ryan,
weapon out.
Ryan obliterated things 3 times.
Uh-huh.
All right, everybody, we'll go and play a game. Ryan is going to play Duck Hunt.
If I'm still flying, can I my movement speed is 60 feet. So if I fly about 30 feet away from the entrance, and I cast Thunderclap, that should draw enough noise that any of them that are coming toward us should go toward that, shouldn't it?
Hypothetically. I mean, they get a roll.
I mean, it's not going to do any damage to them, but so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move about 30 feet from the entrance while still in the air,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast Thunderclap.
Okay.
It says you create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard for up to 100 feet away. Each creature within range of each creature within range other than you must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage, but the range is only 5 feet. So it shouldn't, it probably won't do damage to them. But it should at least get them to not be coming toward us and our friends anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that that works. You make a loud enough ruckus up the road that the majority of them skitter off in that direction. There are still one or two of them that are crawling along the road that you're looking down, but that's not uncommon at this point.
Yeah, so I guess at that point I'm just gonna fly back toward the building and just kind of hover and stand watch until Emil and Kiddo are in the building.
Okay, so Kiddo is still outside with you, but Emil has already rushed inside.
Oh, great.
What happened to your pants? Never mind, I'm going in.
So it was a guy, but he had a whole bunch of bugs inside of his cloak, or he was made of the bugs.
Yes.
Do I see a body? Do you want me to roll perception to see if I see a body where he's laying?
You do
So I
not
can go
see a
check.
body. You do not see a body.
Okay. So is there anything there in that general vicinity that would say there was something there?
The cloak is still there.
Okay. I'd like to go check the cloak and check the area surrounding it. Is there anything else lying in that area?
Make
You're naked.
make an investigation check.
Okay. I'm curious. Try not to meta.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you say you're trying not to meta or metal?
Yep, that balanced out the other roll.
I want to live, but I'm still out of it.
Heather.
I just pick up the cloak and I dust it out. Check the. Can I check the cloak itself?
Yeah. I mean, so the investigation check would have basically been for anything beyond what I usually would have told you anyway.
Okay.
So the cloak is made out of a fine material, but it's older, and which is why it's so ragged. It's stitched with very high quality embroidering, covered in elven writing. On the inside of the hood, there appears to be a worn space that looks like there's one long ridge that runs the top of the hood, and it smells like dragon.
That's badass for later. So I shake it out, make sure there's no actual bugs on it still, because reasons.
Nope.
And then I throw it around my shoulders and I kind of hold it. And do I see anything else laying on the ground?
No.
Okay. Then I'm gonna walk back over to where I was and grab my backpack and grab my buckler and then look at the rest of the party and go, all right, what's next? I mean, that was fun, but oi.
So Emil is breathing heavily, having been chased for quite a while, and has collapsed into his usual booth in the Rotten's headquarters.
I love that he has a booth there.
Huge bag that is just stuffed to overflowing, that he hauls over and sets down on the table. And you can see that along his back, there are marks of claws and fangs that have been able to touch him that he didn't get so far away from. He doesn't appear to be in any sort of critical state or anything, but he is definitely wounded and not feeling great. It's good to know that you're all still alive. I wasn't sure if anyone made it out of there.
Are we all here now?
Yeah,
Everyone in the party is in this room.
Okay.
So without hesitation, once seeing that, I walk up, I place my hand on his back, and I put 5 points of health into him, specifically into the spot on his back where the worst of the claw marks are.
Okay. That's all he would need in order to be completely healed.
Okay.
So yeah, you see him immediately gain relief from that.
Is Amir still damaged?
Yeah, Amir is pretty burned and pretty badly singed.
Can I just play Song of Healing?
Does
I can
that
just
only
get
heal
me-
him or does that heal everyone?
It'll get everybody.
Yeah, and Tonks, I want you to make a performance check for me.
Okay.
What does it do?
Here you are. Oof.
That's my battle buddy.
This is a good night.
So you're gonna do what? The Song of Rest?
It's is that what it is? I can never
Yeah.
find it.
It's under features and traits.
yeah,
about
it's one of
halfway down.
my. There we go.
If you or any friendly creatures who can hear your performance regain hit points at the end of the short rest by spending one or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an additional or an extra 1d6. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't-
Shit.
Doesn't that mean we have to take a rest?
You're technically taking a short rest right now.
Oh, okay.
You gain hit points back from short rest.
Yeah, you can roll one of your you can roll your hit die.
How do you actually do that?
How do you roll your hit die?
Yeah, like where is that?
So let's see, I'm looking on the sheet. You know,
That's a new rule on me. I've never heard that one.
what?
The hit die.
I'm familiar with hit dice
Yeah.
because you roll them every time you either take short or long rest, but I just don't know where it is on this thing because I haven't had to use it.
Yeah, neither have I.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have this button called short rest.
Oh, okay. So in your actual character levels where it has all your experience points, everything else. So your hit dice, it'll show you how many you would roll to see how many hit points you have. You know, how many you can have. Like for example, mine says 6d10. So I'm guessing I roll a d10 to see how much hit points I get back from a short rest.
That would
Cool.
be correct. Well, yeah.
This says 1d8 plus 3.
Let's see.
Oh, hit die 6.
Here we go. Rules and game mechanics. A character can spend one or more hit dice at the end of a short rest up to the character's maximum number of hit dice, which is equal to the character's level. For each hit die spent this way, the player rolls the die and adds the character's constitution modifier to it. The character regains hit points equal to the total. The player can decide to spend an additional hit die after each roll. A character regains some spent hit dice upon finishing a long rest, as explained below. Okay, we don't need that right now.
So if I'm reading this, if I'm understanding correctly, I just got 9 hit points back.
Yes.
So you just rolled a d10 with that little thing in the corner, and then you just added 3 from your, or you added 4 from your con
Constitution.
modifier.
Right.
Oh.
So, and you can roll that up to, I think you said yours is 6d10, so you can roll it up to that many.
Okay. One.
But you can choose to do it like after each roll, so you don't spend them without needing to.
I'll do one more. Oh, yeah, perfect. All right, cool.
It's been so long since I've used those
D8.
rules. We have yet
Oh,
to
yeah.
have anybody slip into an actual dying state. Yet.
Because we're the Fantastic Five.
Right. Johnny Five is alive.
Wow,
Um,
that back.
Okay, I also did two. Wait, Heather, you said we get what? You said we get what? Why are we waiting?
Rest well and have a good night, Brooke.
Bye.
Bye, babe.
Heather, you said we get what plus the the dice that we rolled?
Your Constitution bonus.
No, that's what we get from the hit dice. But Heather's song did more for us, so we might not actually have to roll two.
You get 1d6
Okay.
for
Yeah, an extra 1d6.
yeah.
Oh, well, that
You only get it for the one roll though.
it's okay. I'm gonna use two hit dice for it anyway, but that'll take me back up to full health.
Cool.
So would you say that that particular ability is less helpful?
No, that was great.
No, I'd say
Okay.
it's actually really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It seemed not so, mostly because it took us a while to figure out what the rules were, to be sure. But yeah, no, an extra 1d6 is awesome,
Oh, okay.
especially at this level.
I just got an extra 5 hit points. Thank you, Heather.
Sweet.
Yeah, for the record, Emir was down to below half.
Oh, okay. Do we like since we're technically resting, do we like reset our spell sorry.
That's a long rest, not a short rest.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh.
some things come back at a short rest, but for the majority of spell casting, it's long rest that will give you back spell slots.
Okay.
You can look on your character on your class though to be sure if you want to know.
Okay, it's not a
Also,
big deal.
also, just for future sake, if you've got the app open, there is a button called Short Rest. If you click it, you'll find a number of little squares that are undone. If you then tap in each of those and saying you want to activate those, you'll be able to. There'll be a button underneath. I could just share the screen. That would be so much easier.
Yeah, I don't see where the.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm on the
Okay,
computer or
so
on
check
the.
this out. So let me
Oh,
do this again
Oh
here.
yeah.
All right, so if you click on short rest up here, you can then go over here and like if you want to use 1, 2, or all the way up to your 6, or however many
awesome.
you can have. And then after that, you just click that and it actually rolls it for you and tells you your total you got back.
Nice.
I just saw that and figured it out, so I thought I'd let you know.
Thank you, Ryan.
Cool.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. I feel like I miss out on the whole side of this game because I don't play so much. Like, no, like for real, like there's some controls I just don't ever touch. Like short rest.
It makes sense.
Anyway. Yeah, so Emil ends up explaining that the entire trade market or the market district has been completely overrun. And they've turned it into a place to hold the remaining survivors that they're collecting from around the town.
Emil, is there one central person who seems to be controlling everything there?
I think there's two really. I see the same one all around a lot, but then there's this other guy. So
And are they hard to get to? Like, are there a lot of bug guys around them?
well, the whole square is filled with them. They've got the place surrounded. I don't know how many of them there are, to be honest, but there's a lot.
Okay.
The the one that's always there just stays there in the middle of the square trying to get information out of people. I don't know what he's looking for. And then the other guy is this weird little owl man that keeps coming out of the tower to collect information and then goes back in.
Okay. Miles, what was the name of our friendly wizard guy?
Mulder,
Well, there.
And what was he looking for that we thought Emil might have?
a ring of mind shielding.
So now I'm gonna ask Emil, hey, do you have or do you know where we can get a ring of mind shielding for our wizard friend over there?
Yeah, I've got one, but not on me. Um, you'd have to get it from my shop.
Which is in the market, which is filled with lots and lots of bad things. So Emil, you being the crafty individual that you are, do you have a secret entrance into that place? Tunnel or something like that?
I mean, well, doesn't everybody?
My vote is before we go in there, we need 4 things. We need access to some healing potions. That would be a really, really useful thing. If there's a place that we can purchase some, great. If we can take some on loan, I'll pay you back from the guild leader that happens to be here. But some healing potions would be a really good idea, especially since we don't have a devoted healer. Which is not a bad thing, because that's the reason the healing potions exist. Second, I do think that we need to go stop by the blacksmith area because beat sticks need to be properly outfitted before they go into the beat stick arena. Third, Guildmaster dude, is there any possible way that I could borrow a pair of pants or a loincloth or something? There's a breeze in here.
Sure. And yeah, he walks off to go and find you clothes.
Just out of curiosity, Yumar, I'm just gonna ask this. Being you're currently without armor and clothes, being a beat stick and everything, would you by chance be willing to, stay in the cart? Just throwing it out there.
Let's be clear here. If I'd stayed in the cart, those bugs would have attacked all of you. They would have overrun you. It would have been a whole bad situation. And I air high five the air just in case he happens to be seeing me. I have backup, who is one of the coolest, and I'm not saying that ironically, beings in history. And also, I knew you guys were going to take care of business. Heather likes fire. Let's be honest here. Torch hasn't seen a battle that she hasn't come out on top. I mean, I don't think she's ever gotten extra damage. And you just like to shoot stuff.
I won't deny that the immense display of fire that took all your armor away was fantastic to see. However, everything else about you could have not happened and the outcome would have been the same. Heather still would have lit a ring of fire, destroying all of them. You wouldn't have got attacked by all the bugs. They would have came at us. She would have still lit them on fire. And then we wouldn't have had to turn our attention toward you, who, by the way, you almost tried to kill River. I could shoot you dead for that alone.
Dado, I hate to point it out, but I don't think we could have done any of this without Ymir.
Also, Emil, I would like to point out, I believe that this is the first time I've ever heard you advocating for less violence. I I usually would consider that a good thing, but so far when people are acting not themselves lately, they've been bug people, and I'm not really happy about that.
Ooh.
Oh, are you or are you not the person that poured ash and teeth all over my business and into my shoes?
Oh, I am.
Well, he just blasted the shit out of that other guy.
Hold on. I can
Really?
solve this with one question. Dotto, why are we here? What do we want to do with the Lich? What do we want? Why are we here for the Lich?
The Lich needs to die.
What else?
The Lich needs to die so that the city, the people can leave it again, and I can get the hell out of here.
It's him. The bugs would have tried to convince us he was being heroic. This man ain't no hero.
Well, at
Heroes
least
are overrated and naked currently.
I don't know whether or not I should be reassured by that, but all right.
To quote the great demigod Murphy, if it's dumb but works, it's not dumb. And it worked.
It worked.
Murphy, the god of chance.
I don't disagree. We do need healing potions, though. It would be nice not to, lose some of you.
The only place in town that it doesn't look like they've completely overrun is Lost Forge. So you might be able to make it there to your forge if that's what you're looking for. But it'd be dangerous. I can go back to my shop, but it'd be dangerous for me to go alone. And I'm afraid that if we all went, it would gather a lot more attention than we need. Would someone like to come with me?
Is there someone you'd prefer to go with you?
That doesn't matter to me either way.
I'll go with you.
Well, I think we should leave it up to the boss.
I'm fine with that. He could go.
I mean, that's fair.
I feel like you jumped on that really quickly, which makes me concerned, but all right then.
Can I cast Prestidigitation, light up my eyes, and say, stop arguing with me? Let's get what we need to get this done.
I am not arguing. I am concerned. You seem, well, agitated. And you have a tendency to, I don't know, let that out on other people.
And currently it's not at you. Take the win.
I'll take the win.
Emil, you identify stuff, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, cool. Boss, I got a couple suggestions. We got the two guild leaders here. We've got Mulder here. We might have to separate from them to go take care of this. And if we do separate from this, I think that we should say a word or some kind of code phrase or something that when we see them later on, we ask them the code phrase or I mean, I'm not the greatest at math, but we could try a math equation. Tell them what's 4 + 4. That's our half of it. They tell us the answer when we get back, and that way we know that that's them. They haven't been taken over by bugs. What do you think?
Have we figured out a way to determine if who's bugs and who's not bugs?
Yes.
Don't we have right? This sunlight stick or whatever?
Yes. The sunblade just light it up in a room.
And then we know real quick, right?
Dead or run.
Wait, what do you need lights?
We need daylight.
Okay.
A lot more daylight, right?
Well, that's easy enough. And he reaches down into his pack and he pulls out, looks like a small bundle of sticks. And he sets them down and he goes, the wands only have 3 charges, but you'll get a minute of daylight out of each one,
What's the range?
30 feet.
I think all of you should at least take a couple.
You can only use 1 at a time. But yes, there's 5.
And how long do they last?
Each blast will last 1 minute.
I'll take one.
I'll take one for sure in case we run into trouble, but I'm hoping we slip in and out unnoticed.
Would it be helpful? I have invisibility.
That's helpful for you, but I don't know if this
I
is
can
me speaking as
cast
a
it.
player.
I think I can cast it on 2 people. Because it says when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, which I do have this at 3rd level. You
All right.
can get 1 additional creature, so I could probably hit you both. We just have to tie you together so that you
Mhm.
know where Emil is, maybe. I don't know.
Well, if Emil and I have a secret underground tunnel or however a secret tunnel to get there and back, I don't know that we need it as much as whoever's going to the Lost Forge. Because you
Okay.
also have to get there too. Plus with the light stick and well, I'll call it my friendly demeanor and everything, I'm less worried about us than I am about all of you. And by less worried, I simply mean don't get river killed. But if you find any good shoes,
Give them to you or to River?
well, I don't need shoes. It's just silly.
So
So I think I missed it. Do we know a good place to get some healing potions?
Yeah, he said in the Lost Forge.
Okay. I was just making sure I don't want to assume because
And
we
it
all know
just-
how excited I am to get there.
It just
that's-
happens to coincide with where you need to go, so we can hopefully find you armor, so that you're not. As
Lost Forge is about the only place left in the city that isn't in some way under siege,
Okay.
other than the tower.
So does that mean it's safe or it's conquered?
It belongs to the Iron Barons, and you know right now that their leader works for Ivor.
Oh, right, because
You might need that invisibility more than I.
Scovold, right?
Yeah, Scovold. Scovold Kegthrone.
Oof.
Very
All
dwarf.
right.
Did William or did Ymir's special mask get burnt up too?
It did not.
Okay.
The DM likes me.
So could
So-
perhaps one person change their face and one person be invisible?
Are
I'll
all
go along. I mean, are all 3 of us going? Well,
I mean, I'm going with
with the meal.
Emil, and he didn't want all of us going, and Ymir definitely needs to hit up the Lost Forge or stay in the cart, one or the other, and the other 2 of you could go and get what he needs.
But he's not going to stay in the cart. So, I just meant like our torch, Ymir and Tonks gonna head to the forge then.
I'm trying to think of someone to look like. Oh, got it. Okay. So I pull my mask out of my backpack, I place it on my face, and all of a sudden, over my entire body, I look like one of the tavern owners that we dealt with, were the two gnomes that led Dotto to the people that harmed his family.
Yeah.
We had to deal with those two, and you know, Heather discovered that Mage Hand is a really awesome spell. So I now look like that bar owner,
Okay.
white shirt, plain pants, whatever.
Mhm.
I just realized I don't necessarily need pants yet. I've got but the cloak in my head. I keep the cloak there.
Miles, question for you. If I were to perch Kiddo on Tonks's shoulder, would Kiddo also be invisible along with Tonks?
If Kiddo was Tonks's familiar, yes.
Okay. In that case, that won't work. So let's each grab a sending stone so we can talk to each other if need be, if we're separating.
You have one. You have one left.
Well, we
And
should have one,
maybe-
and Maldor should have one, and Maldor isn't going anywhere, so we should be able to take them both.
So Mulder did have one, and then he was asked if he still had it, and he said no.
Okay, so we don't have it. Okay.
So
'Cause,
you have one, Timothy has one, and the other
Mhm.
one is in an unknown destination.
which
Okay.
my brain recorded it as it was possibly compromised, the one that Mulder had. Like, is that kind of the running idea, or?
That's not at all what I had said.
Okay.
And I don't really, I just want to make sure, let me be clear. That is exactly what the party thought immediately as soon as I described that. That is not, however, what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
So,
the
Rivers-
furthest place from where we're trying to go that's still inside the town?
I'm sorry, what?
What's the furthest place away from where we're trying to go, both the Lost Forge and the market, that's still within the town limits?
What's the map? Um, let's see.
That'd be like
And then I have
It's the Sunset District?
great. So who has our sending stones right now?
You, Timothy, and question mark, question mark, question mark.
Well, I mean, is it me who actually has it?
Oh, I don't remember who declared they had it last.
Okay, so in game, I'm gonna say if we don't know where the other one is, let's declare through the sending stone that we're headed toward the very northern part of the Sunset District to meet up with the army.
not a bad idea.
Nice thinking.
If you're gonna do that, make me a deception check.
Oh darn.
Got this.
This is the nat one.
Nope.
Ooh.
Hey!
That's a pretty low roll for your deception, but yeah.
It really is.
Oh, is it?
I mean, a 17 is awesome, but at the same time, you rolled a 9. So as far as Lord Dadu is concerned, it wasn't that great a lie.
But the rest of the world will still think it's pretty convincing.
Other people are really convinced, though.
So I've got 3 more questions,
Yeah.
and then Kelly, 100% on you. You tell us what we're gonna do after these 3 questions. Cool.
Sure.
Awesome.
We're going to
Question number
sunset.
1. Question number 1 for the guild leader. Do you have a set of sending stones here?
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. There are 2 guild leaders in here. There's Ogram, who's the leader of the Rottens, and then there's Gom, who's the leader of the Sparrows.
Rottens, River's dead.
Yeah, Ogram.
I don't trust the other one.
No. Those things are way too expensive for us.
Second question. Do you know anybody specifically that we could trust to talk to inside the Lone Forge?
Hmm.
bonus question. Does anybody remember the name of the orc that we gave all that material to? And reasonably
Well,
certain Heather has her item, right?
yes. The rest of us haven't collected ours yet, to my knowledge.
That's
Okay.
correct. No, he doesn't have a contact in there because Lost Forge has been such an off place for them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been very, very not a good place for the Rotten, so they've been sticking clear of it.
Okay. And then third,
Mhm.
I've had this weird feeling for quite a while. I reach into my bag, I pull something out, it's in my hand, it's kind of shiny. I look at Emil and I open my hand in front of him and go, any idea what this is? As I show him a dagger with a keychain on it.
He scoots back immediately away from it. Where in the hell did you find that?
You answer my question and I will consider answering yours.
At that, Ogrum comes up closer to you and goes, where'd you find me knife?
How did you get Ogram's knife?
I lost it when everything happened in the night market.
I will tell you the truth. I did not find it in the night market. But until I know what the damn thing is, I'm not going to tell you.
Can I roll
You don't have to.
intimidation?
You don't have to roll anything. Emil immediately speaks up. That is a Vorpal dagger. They're incredibly rare and incredibly deadly, and I'm not entirely certain how it is that the person that runs the worst guild in town has the best weapon I've ever seen.
And at that,
Don't ask questions you don't want to know, son.
did Ogram say that, or did Emil?
That's what he
say that?
said.
At that, I'm gonna look right over at Ymir and say, "Give the man his dagger back." And I'm gonna look very seriously at him as I say this.
You have no idea how important this is.
Not a fan of daggers anyway. Here you go.
I love the mental picture of Emir saying, I'm not a fan of daggers anyway, and then just sort of chucks the Vorpal dagger across the room over to Ogrum, who's like,
I know weapon safety better than that. I would hand it to him. Sheesh.
yeah. The dagger has a key attached to a chain on the bottom of it. And he detaches the chain from the dagger and sheathes it. This, however, is something that we have been needing for quite a while. Thank you for finding it for me. And walks over behind the counter and pulls out that huge chest that you had found inside of the old rundown tavern on the far side of town. The one that there was absolutely positively no way someone could pick the lock. And he shoves the key inside and turns it. And you hear a loud thunk as the lock drops away.
Don't you dare.
What? Anyone interested in a suicide mission? He flips open the top of the chest.
What'd you have in mind?
Well, it seems that some of you are going to help our friend in the robes over there, and that's fine. And others of you are going north, and I think that's fine too. But my abilities are best suited elsewhere. And if there's one thing that I can think of that a powerful evil wizard would want to get their hands on, it's in Winterbank. But going there is a death sentence if we're not careful. And he pulls out this pair of goggles that sort of shimmer in the light and sets them down on the bar and pulls out a huge black cloak and whips it. And as he does, you can see it vanish from sight for a moment. And then he folds it and puts it down on the bar. Iron Spine is the leader of the Vox, the fairies from the Winter Court. They are vicious tricksters, creatures that I don't like to mess with normally. But Iron Spine is, without a doubt, the most powerful magical staff in existence. Smarter than any living thing on this plane. And it can imbue those powers on whoever can hold on to it long enough not to die. Most don't last that long. But it's not just a guild lead. It's a dangerous artifact. So I'm going there to liberate it.
Father, I admire the tenacity in that plan. The amount of fun you could have with it. But how are you planning on carrying it or holding it or not dying from it if most die trying to hold this thing?
Well, I suppose I'll have to figure that out when I get there, won't I?
Might I suggest this, my kind friend? Perhaps waiting on that till we get back from these two things that we need to do so that we can get our wizard here up and running. And perhaps, try to give us a bit of protection as you go for that. And perhaps get the supplies that we need and make our paladin less, well, what he is. And perhaps we can regroup and then go for that.
So I could say yes and lie to you and then do it when you're gone. Or I could just tell you I'm going to go do it anyway.
Well, to be fair, the only one of the party who hasn't spoken up that they're already going to do something is your daughter. We could ask her to go with you. Or being, she's your daughter and everything, and she's not just going to let you run off and everything. I could entrust her to keep you where you're at because you're not going to endanger her.
You'd think.
Torch, here's how I see it. You know me. I'm just going to freely share what I think. The forge is where we need to resupply. We've got the ability to handle all this. But before we take on the prospect of a suicide mission or another suicide mission, because the word lich should scare us, we need to be supplied. So we need to go there. We need Mulder's help. Him on our side could be a lot of help. And the way I see it, we could do this one of two ways. Either we go get all the supplies that we need in 2 groups and then regroup and hit this guild leader in force in such a way that it's a whole lot less of a suicide mission and makes, well, tomorrow is Lich Killing Day. And it should make that mission at least easier, if not less impossible. Or, and I'm not a fan of telling River what to do, but I'm also not a fan of letting her go off on a suicide mission. And whatever she chooses, I'll back her up. I'm just going to give my opinion. I think she should go with us. We should get supplied. And while he's off distracting this guild trying to do a suicide mission, we go try to free as many people as we can in the courtyard. And then we figure out how to kill a lich. Those are my thoughts. Whatever you decide, that's what we'll do.
We do have one thing to our advantage, though.
There's a first.
And he reaches into the box and sets down a little glass jar, green, translucent, barely can see through it. There's some liquid inside.
Is that Gargalar?
No. 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 This is living death. This is the most dangerous poison in existence.
Amir literally takes a step back.
Lord Dadu takes a step forward. Go on.
Ingesting it will cause immense pain, followed by death. But then it rots away the body, leaving nothing left. And it follows you. It eats away at you. Resurrections don't work anymore. This came directly out of the salivatory glands of Asmodeus himself. Don't ask why I've been spit at by a demon prince. Now, what were you saying? He slides the jar that's about the same size as his forearm further across the bar. This right here will change the entire game. If there's nothing else that I can do to stop them, I have plenty of industrial strength bug killer right here.
Facts.
So let's have some fun, eh? It's been a while since I've been out adventuring. Cracks his neck, both shoulders. Oh. Ah. It was meant to do that. Well, let's roll. And that's what I'm going to call game.